Hi everyone, I'm Shanique Miller, a media personality and talk show host here in the Bahamas. Just as important, as much as I love my first career, just as important is my love for health and wellness. And so in 2017, I became a metabolic health coach. I did this after transforming my own life, and that is because in 2016, December of 2016, the World Health Organization released statistics about the Bahamas. The world really, but the Bahamas is what I paid attention to. The Bahamas is number 6 in the world in cases of obesity. Number 6. This small country with not even 500,000 people as a population size. Number 6. There are so many things that have led us there. For decades, our eating habits have not been what it should be. But before we get there, and before I get to this table, let's talk a bit about metabolic health. Metabolic health has to do with whether or not you're in good condition, and you're fantastic, but really metabolic health addresses the issues that a person or individual can have that causes them to be at risk for heart disease, stroke, cancer, all of those diseases that can be prevented by what's at the end of your fork. In the Bahamas, the statistics are not good. Our Ministry of Health, for example, spends in excess of $800 million a year just to take care of issues like that. So many Bahamians are plagued with diabetes, in particular, hypertension, obesity. Up to 80% of our population is obese. A number of others are overweight. Well, guess what? In 2017, at the beginning of the year, I discovered I was obese. I was in that statistic as an obese person. I decided then that I did not like that statistic. I don't want to be a part of that number. And I went on a journey that continues to this day. And I lost more than 50 pounds, in fact, close to 60, about 55 pounds through a program called Unicity. I will talk about that as we continue our series. However, though, it also called for me changing my diet, changing my habits, changing my thoughts about food. The food I grew up on, just like many of you. We grew up on these foods. These are delicious foods. Well, so we think, because they hurt us at the end of the day. And so let's take a look at what's on this plate. Now, let's start with breakfast. Typically, here's what many Bahamians do. In fact, the majority of us. Here's what happens. So we, when we get to work, because we don't do this at home. See, if you did it at home, it would be different. And that is why the importance of cooking at home is just so overlooked and seen as a pastime here in the Bahamas. But it isn't. And you're going to learn why it isn't. So when we get to work, the first thing is, hey, what are we having for breakfast? It is not focusing on what the agenda is for the day or what it is that must be met in terms of what the boss laid out. Oh, no, breakfast. And you see this right here? This is the yellow grits. Now, many people have grabbed onto this. You don't see much white grits in the store no more. You know why? Because people have said, oh, I eating healthy, I eating the yellow grits. 80 to 90% of the time, this yellow grits is not locally made or produced. This comes from South America. There are microplastics in this yellow grits. So this is what Bahamians have, right? This is available at many, perhaps all local food stores, little mom and pop shops. All of this is available. You're lucky if you find a yellow grits that has been produced locally from one of our islands like Long Island, etc. But this here causes a glycemic index spike. You heard me talk about diabetes? When you eat the wrong types of food, that causes then a glycemic index spike, meaning your sugar levels to go up. And when that happens repeatedly, a few things happen. You notice your waistline starts to expand and other things as well. But you also notice that more and more your body becomes insulin resistant. That is where you get into the danger category. So let's just talk about the breakfast that we typically have as Bahamians. So we have this yellow grits, and of course you're buying it from a restaurant or roadside vendor. So there's bad oils, cooking oils in there. There's some margarine, because this has to stretch now, of course. This has to feed potentially hundreds of people that morning to make a return. And so there's the yellow grits. Many people like a combo. So you know what we call a combo? There's the steamed sausage and little tuna salad, because we're healthy. So we have that little tuna salad, and or some sort of steamed corned beef with the whatever it is. That's our breakfast. By the middle of the day, somebody else in the office raises another question. What's for lunch? Where y'all going? And lunch usually looks like some variation of this right here on this table. This is lunch. This is lunch in the Bahamas. This is why we are where we're at. We're leading in the Americas. We are leading in the region in cases of those chronic illnesses, those non-communicable diseases that I just talked about. We are leading, and it is not good. So many people, you've seen them walking around with perhaps a crutch or somebody who has had several amputations of various appendages and limbs and that kind of thing. It's because we are not controlling what it is we have at the end of our forks, and it's killing us literally. And it is so disturbing because so many families are left to mourn unnecessarily. So many families have burdens in terms of financial responsibilities because you do not want to make a difference in what it is that you're eating. This is not real food. This right here, let's just talk about this. So this typically, of course, is your little, chicken snack. This is what we call it. But it's the chicken, the fried chicken, and the French fries. And you may have a biscuit with that. And so this is what many people eat on a daily basis. Many people. Or get this, which is much heavier, or perhaps equal, because all of this is fried here.